Today we will be checking one of the interview question which says, let's say you have a list of employee and you have to sort the list based on ID in ascending order. So we do have a class of employee where we are having three variables. One of is ID, second is string name, and let's say we are having a salary of the employee. So let's create a constructor so that we can initialize the object and we can have the getters and setters in place. And the toString method. Now let's say we have a main method. Here what we want to do, we want to sort the list of employee based on the ID in ascending order. So we have to create a list of the employee. So let's say we have a list of employee list equal to new array list, and in this list we are adding multiple employees, passing the constructor where we are having let's say an employee with ID 4, name is let's say Rahul, and the salary is let's say 34,000. Now let's say we are having multiple employees. With different IDs. Let's say 2, 9, and 1. Akash, Ajay, and Sumit, and their salaries are 45,000, 35,000, 78,000. Okay, now we are having the employee list and we want to sort it. Let's say for sorting an employee, we do have a collections class which has a sort method inside it, and we have to pass a employee list. Now when we have passed the employee list, there is a compiler error which says you have provided a list of employee and the required type is list of type T, and the reason it says that you are passing an employee which does not implements a comparable interface. So let's say we implements a comparable interface, and we override the method which is available inside the comparable interface. So here we have to give the implementation of this compare to method. So here is an object, and we have to do the sorting based on the ID. So the ID is int, which is a primitive data type. So we can say integer dot value of, as we know that integer has a compare to method which has been implemented in the integer class. So we are passing this dot id dot compare to o dot. Now we are seeing that this is an object class, not an employee class, so we have to cast it in the employee object. Employee e equal to employee of o, and we can say o dot get id. Now if you want to print the employee list, it will be sorted. So let's say I say sysout before sorting I want to print the list. And after sorting also I want to print the list. So let's run the program. Okay, now you can see that before sorting it is these are the employee list where id is 4, then 2, 9, and after sorting this is the employee list which has been sorted based on the id. So first we are having 1, 2, 4 and 9. Okay, so now let's say we are having a compare to method inside it, but there is a generic part also. In the comparable we can give that what on which of the object we want to sort. So so it will be changed to if I implement that method. So earlier you have seen that this was the object data type. So now we need not to cast the object back to the employee. So directly we can write as integer dot value of this dot get id dot compare to o dot get id. Now if I run the same program, there will be no impact. You see after sorting we are having 1, 2, 4 and 9. Now there can be a multiple deep dive questions that an interviewer can ask. Let's say now we have created a list of employee here. Let's say rather than creating this employee list and adding it, we are creating a list of employee emps equal to list using a list dot of method, and now we can have all the objects of the employee in this particular method. So let's see what will happen in that case. Now here is a catch. If you see that before sorting the employee, if I am printing it, and after sorting I am printing it, now there will be a error which says unsupported operation exception. Okay, now let's see that why this is an error. So if you see this list dot of creates a immutable list. So in immutable list we cannot change the list, or we cannot add or remove any particular object or any data into the list. So that's why there is a runtime exception. So rather than creating this using a list.of, let's see what is the issues with arrays.of, arrays.aslist. Now instead of creating using the list.of, we have created using arrays.list. If I run the same program, it will be working fine. 1, 2, 4 and 9. Now what is the difference between using a list.of and arrays.list? So list.of creates a immutable list, but arrays.list creates a mutable list, where we can change the list inside it. The original list we can change, but we cannot further add or remove any object into the list. Let's say if we want to add a particular employee in this list, that we cannot do that. So if I am creating another employee with ID 6, so if now I can try to run, it will throw the unsupported operation exception, because this particular operation is not supported in this list which has been created using the arrays.list as list, which is a mutable list. Okay. Now as we have sorted this list using a Java, now we can sort. There are methods that we can sort using the Java 8 stream methods. Java 8 streams. Now either using the collection.sort, first option is we can sort it using the same list emps dot sort, and we can pass comparator dot comparing it, and we can pass the method reference of getID. So this particular list will get sorted. So if I print it, you see that particular list has been sorted. Now there are other options also. Second part is we can use Java 8.strings. emps dot, we can stream it, and using a sorted method we can pass a comparator dot comparing it, and same we can pass here, and we can store it in the collector.collectors.toList. Now why there is a need to collect this into a new array list? Because whenever we are doing any operation on the streams, so it will be by default created into a new list. So we are not changing the original list, so that's why we have to assign it back to the new list. So if I print it this list, then it will be sorted. What is the issue here? Yeah, we are all set. And you see this particular array list has been sorted. Now why we are using comparing int and not using comparing. So there is another method where rather than having a comparing int we can use comparing, and the same method will also work. Let's say if I am using this particular list I am printing, then it will give the same result, 1 2 4 and 9. Now what is the difference between using comparing and comparing int? So comparing int basically we use whenever we are having a primitive data type. So if you see here, the id is in the primitive, which is an int. So then Java provided us this method comparing int. Comparing when we can use when we are having, rather than int we are having an integer, because if we are using this particular, if we are, let's say if we are having a primitive data type here and we are using a comparing method, so it will be internally what it will be doing, it will be doing a boxing and unboxing, so it will be a performance issue here. So that's why we have to use comparing int rather than using a comparing. If you do like the video, please like, share and subscribe the channel.